I just can't with these fucking morons anymore. I really can't. And I hate to be that way. I know the best way to educate people is with kindness and compassion. And I know that. There's just a point where there's such a fire hose of stupid information coming at people about, and I'm a cisgendered guy, okay? So I only know the trans experience through my son, through friends of mine who are trans, so I'm certainly no authority on this, but I'm authority enough that when I see horseshit like I'm about to show you, I think it's okay to call it out. And this is not on my video game channel just because, this is, I'm trying to keep that. It's pathetic this is even a political issue. How in the world is this anything other than just a human rights issue, but fine. But I'm trying to keep the channel free of politics. I do my best. But anyway, here you go. So I tweeted this out because there was a tweet from Game Informer saying Overwatch 2's game director has revealed that Doomfist, I guess one of the characters, will no longer be a damage hero in the sequel, and instead he's going to be a tank. So they're changing his class or his category of character that he is. And I just snarkily, annoyingly tweeted back, if only we were as accepting and respectful of in real life people's desires, ability, and right to transition to what they know they actually are. And, I'm just like, I'm not like, it has nothing to do with Overwatch. It just seemed funny to me and seemed relevant, so I figured I'd tweet it, right? So I got a couple of these tweets that I'm zeroing in on them only because I get this kind of discourse regularly. And this is what I mean by fire hose of just idiot information. I don't know where they get this information from. Listen to this guy. Pixels and polygons. Many trans supporters, that's me, I'm a trans supporter, are quick to denounce trans ageism, trans racism, and trans speciesism. But strategically they know those are hard to sell, but they fail to acknowledge that transgenderism is equally arbitrary. It's so dumb. It is so fucking dumb. And I'm sorry if you're watching this, Pixels and Polygons, and I don't mean you're dumb. Maybe you're smart in your own way. I've read your bio on your Twitter. You sound like you're doing a cool project and everything, but it's just like, this is dumb. When you have, and again, I understand that the percentage of people who identify or who are trans in our society are a small percentage. It's not like nothing. It's not like 5 people. But, they're not anywhere near the majority. I get it. It's unusual. And it is. It's unusual. But there's a lot of them. And there have been a lot of them through the ages. And there'll be a lot more, hopefully, out in the open, and that percentage will actually go up because it's probably higher, but a lot of people are still closeted because why wouldn't they be in this fucking society, right? But then you say trans ageism. Really? Really? You think there's a lot of people out there for hundreds of years at least of recorded, certainly more than that, that they're like, I feel like I'm 6. I feel like I'm 6, but people tell me I'm 45. I don't understand. Or I feel like I'm a black guy, but I'm really a white guy. People don't get it. Or come on, man. This is only slightly more worth my time than the stupidly cliche attack helicopter line. Because who's walking around claiming this? Who is doing this? No one. And to assume, and then listen to this guy. Then he goes on to say, pedophiles love this idea. What are you throwing pedophiles in here for? Pedophiles can identify as children and claim their victims as peers. No, they can't. And if they can, that has nothing to do with a trans individual. That has to do with a fucking mentally fucked head who actually thinks they're 6, and thus leads to. What are you, an idiot? You're a fucking idiot. You may not be, but your point of view is. And then listen to this guy. This guy was my favorite today. He says, where did he go? This Cody C. Coop, and I don't know this guy. I think he follows me. Let me see. Yeah, he follows me. He says, Male and female is the most founded piece of science we have today. I don't know what a founded piece of science is, but let's keep going. I think what he means is like it's the most base version of what science is, which really isn't accurate, but let's keep going. When we all die and someone digs up our bodies, they will only be able to tell if we were male or female, not what we felt in our heads. The thing that this guy... Now, let me educate this guy a little bit, and perhaps you as well if you don't know this. If you don't do your research and look into this, and why would you if you're just driving around in your car listening to talk radio or Joe Rogan and you're like, yeah, that sounds good to me, it sounds logical. But the idea of gender, okay, and the idea of biological sex, and the idea of actually what it means to be what we call male and female, all of these things are very fluid right now. And I mean the physiological aspects that are not present visually, penis, vagina, what have you. There are studies, more and more studies, that suggest that the concept of male and female and how you identify as male and female, at least as what we call it, may very well be on a spectrum, and it may also be a physiological aspect of your brain that is not just like a thought. I mean, that's all it is, really, is physiological thoughts. But it's the idea of what you have to put into the bucket to scientifically today say this is what we think goes into the cake batter of calling someone male or female. It's not just if you have a dick or a vagina. It's simply not that, okay? But I understand that if you think that's what it is, okay, all right, I got you, fine. But that's not. And so you're simply just fucking wrong. You could dig up, I've never met one trans person that says, let's say they were born in the outwardly expressing body of a female, and they say, I don't feel like a female, I feel like a male, whatever that means, and I identify as trans male. You think that person doesn't know about gender dysphoria? You think that person isn't aware that they're not, quote, normal? You think that person isn't aware that so far, historically, the only way to bring serenity and peace that has been proven time and again to trans folks is some sort, and it varies to the degree, of transition? They're not... You guys act like, they aren't aware of the very difficult, isolating, sad, lonely, but hopefully, ultimately, victorious journey they've been on. You think they don't know that? You think they're not aware of... I mean, it's so... It feels like you guys feel like you're arguing with a third grader who says it's pink and you're like, no, it's green. And it's like, it's not this... It's deeper than that. These are not stupid people. But you guys continually want to characterize and cartoonify them. And then my favorite, the favorite one of the day is this. And look how hard we have males competing in women's sports and destroying females' hard work and dedication. First off, when the fuck have most cisgendered males, when did they suddenly get so interested in female sports? We've been to a WNBA game lately, have we? I mean, really? Okay, so yeah, fair is important. Most trans people I know, and again, I don't know tons of trans folks. I know about 3. A little more than that now. You think they aren't aware? Look, they want to compete. Okay, so let's take the thing I always hear. Now, here's what I will grant you. If you've got a trans woman who simply comes, not simply, it's never simple and it's obviously very brave, but all they do, quote, is come out to the world as I am a woman. I am a trans woman, okay? And they do nothing else. Maybe they present as female through their dress and whatnot, and that's it for now. And that's a lot. That's a big fucking deal. So I'm not trying to belittle that, but I'm just saying that that's the only change that has happened to them is, the way they present themselves in the world, visually and whatnot. And they say, I want to swim against the women because I'm a woman. I think most logical people, of which I would put trans and non-trans people in the category of most logical people, if they're logical, obviously, would say, well, that's not okay. Most trans people will tell you that, yeah, you know, if you are going to compete with the outwardly facing biological gender that you are, that you have transed into, then if you're not on the proper amount of hormone replacement therapy and various other aspects for a duration to bring your physiology to a level where it's fair, yeah, that would be silly. I think that's just dumb, and I don't think most trans people would say and if they do say they're opposed to it, it's a fringe of a fringe of a fringe who think that. Most people I know, and certainly most trans people I know, are like, well, yeah, why would that be fair? It's like you guys actually think there are people out there en masse who want to compete in sports that are like, I found a way. I'm gonna throw myself to the wolves of society where I can be threatened with hate crimes and violence and just all kinds of horrible shit to happen to me because I've come out as trans. But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna get that fucking first place medal in some, you know, Iowa college swim meet. I mean, that's the trade-off. Where are you guys going with this? Here's where you're really going with this. I'm sorry to say, it makes you uncomfortable. I get it. Before I knew trans folks and I educated myself on the concept, it made me uncomfortable. It was weird. It was different. What do you mean you want to be a woman or a man I got it. But grow up. Open your mind. Accept the fact that people are different. And they deserve the same love and respect and kindness and consideration as everybody else. And don't act like all these people who are like, oh, women in sports destroying hard work. Really? Aren't there like 1,000 other things that women get fucked around on by our society that maybe you want to put ahead of the very rare percentage of trans folks to begin with, let alone trans folks who want to compete in women's sports without having gone through physiological checks and balances of, like, you know, all the things they would need to do? That's the one you want to fight? What about all the other shit that females have to deal with? How about that first? And then we'll get to this maybe. I mean, come on, man. It's so clear. It makes you uncomfortable. You don't like it because it makes you uncomfortable. These are you problems. These are not the problems of trans folks who are just trying to fucking survive. Okay? These are you problems. And that's okay. But, you know, it's like that cliched but very accurate Maya Angelou quote that when you know better, you do better. Well, look, if you've made it to the end of this video, you know better. Or at least you know enough to go, maybe I'm wrong about this and I should do some research and education and talk to some trans people and whatnot before I open my fucking stupid mouth on Twitter again and continue to spread this poison that contributes to making the lives of trans people really fucking hard. Okay, I hope you're well. You know, I will put this on my channel. Fuck it, why not? See ya, bye.